Long before the paved roads cut through the wilds of Tennessee, there was a shadow that moved through the ridgelines of the Appalachian Mountains. A name whispered in the hollers and choked back behind locked doors come sundown. She was called the Bell Witch. But this isn't the Bell Witch you've heard about in Adams, Tennessee. No, this is older, rooted deeper. Before she haunted the Bell family, she was something ancient, a spirit bound to the land, the blood, and the buried sins of the mountains. In the crumbling town of Raven's Gap, tucked away between Laurel Ridge and Crooked Creek, there lived a girl named Martha Bell, a distant descendant of the infamous Bell family. Folks didn't talk much about her kin. They said the curse died long ago. They lied. Martha had grown up hearing scraps of the legend, how her ancestors had been tormented by a ghost that screamed through the night, twisted animals, and choked men in their beds. But those were just tales, she thought, meant to keep kids from wandering too far into the woods, until the night she did. It was late October, when the fog drapes thick over the ground like a funeral shroud. Martha's dog, Buster, chased something into the trees and didn't come back. She followed his yaps into the deeper forest, farther than she'd ever dared. She found him whimpering beside an old rock chimney, the only remains of a cabin long devoured by the woods. But carved into the stones, barely visible in the moonlight, was a name scratched over and over in rusted red. Kate, Kate, Kate is watching. A coldness wrapped around Martha's spine like barbed wire. That's when she heard it. The whisper. Not from in front of her, not behind, but inside her head. The blood calls again. The bells never learn. She ran, dragging Buster through the thorns and fog until her lungs burned and her boots were soaked with creek water. But something followed. Over the next weeks, Martha changed. She stopped sleeping, woke up with bruises shaped like fingers on her neck. Her cabin doors opened on their own, even when nailed shut. She'd find dead birds nailed to her door in perfect rows, always at dawn. Then came the voices, not just whispers, but full conversations from behind walls, beneath floorboards, accusing, mocking. Her grandmother, one of the few old enough to remember the tales, begged her to leave the mountains. The witch don't stay buried, she warned, clutching a bundle of white salt and rowan wood. The mountain remembers, and you, your blood, it called her back. Martha refused, not out of pride, but because deep inside, something else had awoken. Dreams came to her, visions of her ancestors tying a woman to a post deep in the gorge, burning her alive, and cursing her name to the rocks so she'd never return. But they were wrong. The fire didn't destroy her. It bound her to the bells. And now Martha, the last true bell in Raven's Gap, had broken the seal by stepping on that cursed ground. The final straw came on All Hallows' Eve. The townsfolk heard screaming from Martha's cabin, but when they arrived, the walls were scorched black. Inside was no sign of Martha, only her dog, silent and shaking, and a message clawed into the stone hearth. Kate lives, through blood, through mountain, through me. Some say Martha became the new vessel. Others say she was taken, body, soul, and spirit. But since that night, anyone who strays near Crooked Creek after dark claims to hear a girl's laughter echoing between the trees and the sound of a woman weeping from the stone chimney. The old folks in Raven's Gap will still look you dead in the eye and say, "The Bell Witch ain't gone. She just moved deeper into the mountain." And they never, ever say her name after dark. You shouldn't either.